Hey, Jason. What's up? How you doing? Man, you look stressed out. What's going on with you right now?
What's going on? Well, look at my collection. It's a mess. It's nothing like yours. I have all these castings that I don't care about. It's unorganized, and I'm spending way too much money on this hobby. It's terrible.
Yeah, you have gone too far down the deep end in this hobby right now. I need to help you out, man. Why don't you come with me and let's get this collection of yours sorted out.
Please, I need help.
By the way, Discord is now open, so check it out. Link in the description. Come and join the Discord. I will be very active on there, so I'm really excited to meet some of you guys down in the Discord down below, so check it out. Welcome everyone to another video here. Today, we are going to be talking about mistakes to avoid and tips for new collectors. So if you're a new collector or even one who's been in the hobby for a long time and you're looking for some more tips, this is the video for you. So I want to first of all say this to new collectors. I am so excited that you guys are here. In the last 5 years or so, I have definitely seen an uptick of new collectors coming into the hobby, whether that's from social media or just people wanting to get into collecting something in general, and Hot Wheels has been the thing that you picked. I'm super excited you guys have come into the hobby because each and every one of you guys bring something a little bit different into the hobby and make it what it is today. However, I'm seeing a lot of mistakes that I think could be avoided by new collectors. And when I transitioned from being like someone who would play with Hot Wheels to someone who became a collector, I fell into some of these same traps. And I don't want you guys to have issues with this hobby or have people take advantage of you. I want the Hot Wheels collecting hobby to be as enjoyable as possible for all of you. So I've compiled a list of the 6 tips that I would give to a new collector who's getting into this hobby. And in this video, I happen to be roommates with a new collector. Someone you might have seen in some of my videos, Jason DeMiro, who is a car guy who's coming into this hobby for the first time. So we're gonna give him some tips as well. So stay tuned and let's get into this. And thank you guys all for the support. Certainly like and comment and let me know down below, what other tips would you give some new collectors? What were some of those growing pains when you started getting into collecting that you went through as well? First tip that I'm gonna give is do your research. And do your research when you get into the hobby. Understand the history of this hobby a bit. What castings have come out in the past? What castings are there for you to discover? What's the market of some of these items? Understand kind of what the difference is between a mainline, a silver series, a premium, an RLC. Check out some of the other brands that are out there for you. This way you know what's out there and you can pick a focus on what you want to collect. I think it's really important to start scoping out what you want your ideal collection to look like before you really start getting in and attacking it. Sure, you might have some cars like laying around and such, but what is that collection going to turn into long term? What's your goals for your collection? Another thing I would suggest for you to do is get like a hit list of cars that you really want to add into your collection or series of cars you want to add into your collection. Like for me right now, I'm really focused on trying to get these Fast and Furious Spy Racer cars. There's some really hard ones to find. I want to finish that out. So that's on my hit list. That, the Speed Machines is another where I'm trying to build a little capsule collection of those. Hit lists can be something that's really nice and easy for you to keep track of what your focus is and what you're going to be going after to collect. Now, I grant you, some of those spontaneous trips for when you're going to be going to a flea market, for example, and you see something you've never seen before and you're going to add that to your collection, those will happen. And trust me, those have their place, and I would highly recommend for you to seek those experiences. However, I would have the overall scope of your collection and the trajectory of it. I would suggest for you to kind of figure that out in advance. So Jason, how is that going for you, man?
Oh my gosh, there's so many Hot Wheels Porsches on this site. I can't believe how many there are. I'm gonna have the biggest Hot Wheels Porsche collection on the internet. My collection is gonna be so big that I'm gonna have to move out of this apartment and out of this dump that I live with you.
Well, that flows into the second tip that I have for you guys, and that is you need to estimate how many models that you can actually handle in your collection. I would believe, and for me personally, this is the same way, that like I want to be able to give all the models in my collection the attention that they deserve, right? Being able to see them, enjoy them, and such. And in this apartment that I have, I really only have this office space to store my Hot Wheels and display them. So I can really only take a certain threshold of castings in my collection before it just becomes way too much and I just have all these access cars that just don't have any point. I would look at your infrastructure, wherever you're storing your cars, and see how many cars can I really have in my collection? How many cars am I willing to take the time in to take care of, to track, right? Because what I see all the time with collectors who are getting into this hobby for the first time, what they end up doing is they buy all the licensed cars from the big box stores that they find. They go and they put them in these bags or bins or whatever, or maybe they're opening them and they kind of put them on a shelf, and it just becomes so disorganized and people don't even know what they have in their collection anymore. And then there comes a point in time, an aha moment, after they've been collecting for a while, and they're like, wait a minute, do I even like this type of car? Do I even need these many castings when I really only like this certain cars or, this certain part of the hobby? Why do I have all these cars? And what am I gonna do with all these cars? That is a moment that's going to be happening to you. So my suggestion is to get ahead of that and don't necessarily buy just everything and anything that you see, because it's going to become very unmanageable very, very, very quickly. Now, my third and fourth tips, they kind of go hand in hand, but they're like slightly different. The third tip I have is exploring your local area. And what I mean by that is what's available to you, maybe within a 30-minute to 1 hour radius from where you're living. I think we think of this hobby and we're always like the Targets, the Walmarts, if you're overseas, the Toys R Us's, these big box stores. That's where we get our Hot Wheels, right? And that's what you automatically think of. But that's not the only way for a lot of people, especially if you're in a larger metro area like I am, that you can actually acquire different castings in your collection and you can interact with the hobby. For example, flea markets are a great place to look, although I will say flea markets in the last 3 to 5 years have certainly kind of gone into the scalper market price lately. It's not quite what it was, but certainly there's some good stores here and there that you might find. Also look at like just general like vintage toy stores. I have a couple in my area that do sell Hot Wheels cars as well that you can get some older castings from. Another place you might want to look at are vintage shops. So like vintage shops, you'll have people who are just, selling their Hot Wheels collections on consignment. There's a lot more locally in your area that you can interact with than just going to Target and Walmart and checking the pegs. And number 4, to kind of go off of number 3, that is getting involved with the community. And there are a lot of good people locally that you'll meet. Now, granted, in your local area, you also will meet the scalpers of the area. You will inevitably run into them if you're at the stores or if they're at a event or something. You'll unfortunately learn those people. But I assure you, there's probably some people there that have a genuine connection with this hobby and really love being a part of it. And those are some of the people that are really, really fun to be around. People to talk about what parts of the hobby they really love, the history that they have with this hobby and such. Those are some really, really fun conversations and definitely ones that will enhance your collecting experience. And just one more point on the scalpers. The scalpers might tell you their secrets and how they get certain castings. If you're friendly with them for at least a small period of time, you might get their secrets and you might actually be able to beat them to the punch. I don't know. Personally, the castings that I'm looking for are not the ones scalpers would want anyways, so it's not really a problem for me. But if you're one of the people who are running into issues getting some of the new castings, like the Ferraris, for example, and you can never find one on the pegs, well, sometimes you have to, be friends with the enemy to kind of get what you're looking for. So, interact with the community locally and you'll get a little bit ahead. Now, see, Jason here is lucky enough that myself and Johnny and some of these other people, he lives with. So we try to give him tips all the time. Tip number 5, stop overpaying. Stop overpaying. Don't make eBay your first look of, oh my God, I missed out on a car. I need to go to eBay and get it immediately. Number one, if it's a recent release, there's a very good chance that it actually could still be on the pegs. I would definitely check some stores such as AutoZone, O'Reilly, like these auto parts stores, definitely like the Dollar General, Dollar Trees. Grocery stores are really good. So here in Florida at like Publix, Kroger in other states. I know when I was living in New York, Stop and Shop had Hot Wheels as well. So there's definitely other stores that you can go to. You don't always have to go to the big box stores, right? And it's, again, if you're overseas, you don't always have to go to Toys R Us to look for Hot Wheels castings. You know, they have them, again, at grocery stores a lot of time over there, and in other like kind of toy shops. There's other places you can look. Even like, I think you can find them at Miniso at this point in time. And I know a lot of big agencies have a lot of Minisos that are around. That's a good place to also look for Hot Wheels casting. But stop overpaying and panicking when you can't find something immediately. It's okay. You know, you probably have about 6 to 12 months, honestly, to find something that is a recent release on the peg. So just kind of hunt around a little more. And if you can't find it, you know, then you can maybe go to eBay, but at least later on, there'll be more of the casting in circulation. So in theory, unless it's like a chase or something like that, that price should be coming down just because there's more out there for people to buy. And some of these places don't really know the value of the castings that they have because either they're trying to just flip it for, you know, a quick buck. Like I know a guy in Savannah, Georgia, he buys the collections pretty much at every casting at $1 a piece, and then he sells almost everything at $2 a piece, right? So there were so many castings when I was there at his shop that were going for like $20 maybe or $10 online that I was getting for like $2 just because, you know, you found that store and you're able to get some good deals. And some hobby shops and some diecast stores at the flea market, usually the more you buy, the more you save sort of thing because it's easier for them to sell there than having to sell like on eBay or something. So you know, the more you buy, the price per car certainly goes down too. So these are good ways to kind of prevent overpaying. And sometimes you're just gonna have to wait, man. Like, it might be 1, 2, 3 years, but that's just part of the chase, right? You might not be able to find a good deal or just the car you're looking for at all. So you just have to be patient and find other gaps in your collection that you wanna fill in the meantime. And then, you know, magically you'll see where, oh wow, there's now a casting I've been looking for a long time. It's finally up for sale and it's finally at a price that I like. So trust me, there's certain castings that I've been searching for 5 to 10 years and I still haven't gotten them to this day. And that's okay because I'm just waiting and I'm just waiting for that right deal to come because it will one day, I'm sure. Don't panic. Do not panic.
Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Right here on eBay, I just bought a golf Porsche for $50.
This guy, he just never learns, does he? And number 6, and most importantly, collect what you like and enjoy being in this hobby. If this hobby brings you frustration, don't be in it. If it's affecting your mental health, you shouldn't be in this in the first place. This is supposed to be something that's supposed to alleviate stress and bring joy to your life. Already, we have enough problems with work, family, other outside events that happen. There's so much stress that happens in life. Don't let Hot Wheels be something that puts stress on you. It is not worth it, and at the end of the day, it is just a toy. It really is. But in terms of buying what you like, don't fall into the trap of saying, oh my gosh, this collector here who has 20,000 cars in his collection, they have all these cool cars, and just because they have it, that means I have to have it too. Look, if you don't have that connection naturally with that car, you probably shouldn't be adding it into your collection, if I'm being honest with you. If you're buying something because someone else has it in their collection and is like either bragging to you about it or you're jealous of that, that's not something necessarily that you need. Not all collections should be the same. In fact, it's more interesting if more of us have different collections. Like, for example, on this platform, there's that guy, that Mustang diecast collector, and shout out to him because he definitely gave the inspiration for this video here. He just pretty much collects Mustangs, and that's what he's into, and he's got some really, really cool variations of it, and he's trying to hunt every single Mustang. Mustangs aren't necessarily my thing. I don't really have too many Mustangs in my collection. But what I can say is I really admire his collection because he has a great scope and a great focus to it. And that just makes his collection that much better. A quality collection that has connection to you is always gonna be better than a wild collection with a bunch of quantity in it, okay? There's people in Discords that I've seen that have these great collections. They're only maybe about 300 to 500 cars, small type, but every single car counts. Every single car matters to them, right? That's kind of what you want to get to. And even for myself, I want to kind of decrease my collection even more just because I don't like having like all these extra models. So collect what you like and be proud of what you like, okay? Because it's you, right? It's you. This collection that you have is an extension of you. So really collect what you like, block out the noise, and you will be a much better collector for it. That's really it here. Again, tell me down below, what are some tips you would have to new collectors right here? I really do believe that these people who are who've gotten into the collecting between the last 3 to 5 years, or maybe have gotten back into the hobby, they are really susceptible to traps. I think that there's traps going on more than ever. You know, people getting intense FOMO, they're getting scammed into deals that they shouldn't be even buying in the first place. There is a lot of traps out there, so I'm just trying to highlight them to you guys so that you guys don't fall for it. Be true to yourself, okay? And collect what you like and collect what your heart wants you to collect, okay? But until next time, thanks so much for your time, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care. Bye-bye.